Welcome back to the Marvel Snapcast podcast, episode 117. I'm your host, Ken, a.k.a. known as the Super Tech Guy, the gentleman with every variant in the game.
Every variant! Sorry, I just wanted to jump the gun
variant. I love it. I love it. And, of course, I'm here with the one and only, the wonderful Mr. Epic Sax Party Man himself. It's Guess Gaming. Welcome, morning, my friend. How you doing?
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I am thoroughly enjoying Marvel Snap right now. Had a great stream, and now we get to dive into why.
That's good. I like to hear that. So that's number one on the tracking list, right? I said wonderful person. It's Guess Gaming. So let's put that one in the counter right there for the wonderful word. There's number two.
Shot.
Keep going. Yeah, you got to take
shot.
That's right. Every time I say it. All right. So you had a great time. I'm glad to hear that. We had some OTAs today just happened. Kind of fixed, broke, shook up the meta. We'll dive right into it and talk about those awesome cards that got reworked, changed, and put back to what they should have been. All right? Kicking things off, of course, with the top of the list. And we have, of course, these wonderful cards. Again, take a shot. Killmonger, Cosmo, Shadow King, Alioth, and Red Guardian have all been reverted back to what they were. Now, of course, if you guys did not know, every card on this list got changed 2 weeks ago as a joke / let's see how the meta will be. And people were fighting, I want these cards back. I want my cards back. Hope you guys are happy. Out of the 7 cards that got adjusted 2 weeks ago, at least the majority of them are now back to normal. Guess how you feel about those cards going back to what they used to be?
Killmonger, sad because I really wanted my unique version of 2 out of 3 lanes. I really wanted that one, not gonna lie. Cosmo, I get it, it's fine. Shadow King deserved to go back to what it was. Red Guardian deserved to go back to what it was. Alioth, really sad. I did not want to see a 9-power Alioth come back into the game again. Like, that move deck with Alioth in it is just like vicious and annoying. And those ones, I'm sad that they went back to their old states, but I'm more so confused that Negasonic Teenage Warhead stayed.
Yeah, looking at the stats I saw on Untapped, I know we're not supposed to just, go based off of that because there's other stats elsewhere. But Negasonic was one of the worst alongside Red Guardian when it came to win rate. So I expected Negasonic to go back, especially after they nerfed Juggernaut not too long ago. So very interesting they kept them both now at a 4 cost.
I think it's worth also noting specifically within that these 4 cost single card destroyers seem to be kind of what they're aiming for, right?
Okay.
If there's a limitation, it has to be one that has a downside, like Gladiator. But you look at Danger, you look at Negasonic Teenage Warhead, you look at Shang-Chi, they're saying the card eliminators are 4 cost. And I don't know if that's intentional or coincidence, but it is a pattern I did notice by them leaving Negasonic Teenage Warhead when I first saw this. And was like, not sure how I feel about that. Unless if it's just something that Second Dinner sees statistically in the background as something that they might need to keep an eye on.
Right. No, that's fair. And of course, Enchantress, which we all agreed last week with K and Best that Enchantress could stay at a 5. I mean, it just makes sense. I like her at this 5 cost with that amazing power. So happy for the Enchantress change. Now, we're going to talk about the card that everybody was the most sad about. And that is Shang-Chi. I had a nice conversation last night with Flash in my chat. It was half split down the middle, revert him back. The other half was like, no, keep him the way he is. Give him more power. Well, they kind of did both. Well, no, they kind of gave him more power and left him the way he was with the change, which is now on reveal destroyed enemy card here that has 10 power or more. We went back and forth discussing what we think would be the best. Maybe if we get him at 4-3 or 4-4 and he can still destroy everything, or maybe he's an activate. A bunch of wonderful ideas came up yesterday. Take another shot. But I am intrigued and happy that they kept him this way. Not to say that I'm concerned. I was always a hater or anything of Shang-Chi. No, I love Shang-Chi. I have no issue with Shang-Chi. I just think for the meta to be the way it is and for us to have more fun in the game, I think, and be more creative, I think this type of Shang-Chi is the way it should be. Now, I also feel a month from now, if the meta is super stale and all we see is big decks, pause, then put Shang-Chi back the way he is. Guess how do you feel about Shang-Chi?
I didn't think that they would go this direction with single card. I expected them, because in my predictions, I said the exact opposite middle ground, where I thought he was going to be a 4-2 that had his old ability, not his old rank with his new ability. So it's kind of backwards from what I thought, and I'm honestly surprised about it.
Right.
Because it's still a 13 power swing in one card, yet we still have a 4/11 Namor. Leave that to your own,
right,
conversation for another cocktail, but whatever. I just think that the single card one, come a month from now, we will regret. I really do. I think that we're going to regret leaving this for too long as a single card destroyer, because big cards do big things, and you need to have that release valve. And I think that this was an appropriate release valve, which is why I thought 4-2 with his old ability would have been the direction to go. But
the better to go.
Apparently, I think it's annoying that they're looking at the statistics but not weighing in the relevance of us not playing that Shang-Chi because of the knowledge that he would be reverted back in some capacity is most likely what was going to happen. And they just didn't see the numbers to say that's fine. No shit, you didn't see the numbers to say that. Like, of course not, because everyone went, ooh, we don't have to worry about tech. Oh, I'm going to go play the fun thing now. And
right.
It just blows my mind that it's weighed in that way. However, on the other end of it, I know it's a little selfish, but I was very happy to read within all of this that they specifically called out the Golden Gauntlet as another further barometer to help showcase what the strength of Shang-Chi is going to be. Because what we saw in prior Golden Gauntlets was about a 30 to 40% rate on Shang-Chi. Last Golden Gauntlet, qualifier number 2, he was a 40% bring rate and then had like a 30% win rate. It was so unnecessary to bring him. Now, they even say it, and I quote in this one, specifically for talking about the Golden Gauntlet, for now, our plan is to gather more information through the next Golden Gauntlet tournament, then make a more long-term decision for Shang-Chi. They want to see people bring some chaos, or have the flexibility of bringing some chaos to the tournament. And I found that really interesting, because we've seen the Golden Gauntlet make an appearance in OTAs before, and the importance of the tournament scene, but then it's kind of like I don't know, it seems like it's a catch-22 situation a bit, because they don't support competitive play directly. They support showcases, which is what the Golden Gauntlet specifically is. But then use the statistics and the bring rates and the win rates of the Golden Gauntlet, and they weigh them into the balance decision for the entire game. So I think it's this weird, like, well, which is it? Do you truly support competitive play within your own broadcasts, the Golden Gauntlet, or not? Plain and simple, just or not. Because this says one thing and then acts another.
Right. I think they support it, but not the way we think they do, right? They support it with the caveat that it's a showcase. They want to call it something else, not a competitive type of thing, right? I think that's what they're trying to do here. But I also believe that due to the fact that all the tech cards were adjusted in 2 weeks, the stats on Shang-Chi, like you said, are very skewed. So now that they reverted back the majority of them and made changes to some of them, now we can really see if Shang-Chi at this wonderful new change is what we should keep long term. But I feel the same way you feel a month from now, even probably after the Gauntlet, when we see some more creative decks. Can't wait to see the Absmans, the Odins, the Grandmasters. Once we see that happen after the Golden Gauntlet, maybe at that point they go, you know what, all right, let's revert him back to what he was.
I guess they're specifically targeting him because of the high bring rate in Golden Gauntlet from the last qualifier.
Of course.
Because none of the other 8 of that mega change from the Synthezoids, none of them made it as high. The next up was Negasonic Teenage Warhead, but they left that at 4-5. So I would not be surprised if all of a sudden Shang-Chi and Negasonic, after Golden Gauntlet in the following OTA, were then adjusted another time again, either to different statistics, different rate, something.
Listen, either way, I like that they're making the changes. I like that they're doing the balances to make sure they get the cards right. And I think Shang-Chi power must be controlled. And right now, let's see if it's a problem, right? Like I said, we start seeing big decks all over the place, then we know power must be controlled. All right, on to the next wonderful changes. We have Colleen Wing going from a 2-4 to a 2-3. All right, which I think was needed. I mean, that discard list with Redshift and Agatha was just annihilating everywhere. Conquest, Deadpool Diner, on ladder. So instead of them nerfing Redshift, which I hope they did not, I'm happy, they took a little power away from Colleen Wing. They also stopped the crazy bullseye list that was running out there too with additional power from Colleen Wing. So I think this nerf is well needed, and I think we'll see a little change in that list, but I don't think it's be too much, right? So I'm happy for that. And then I'm going to dive into the next one, Agatha. Now from a 6-14 to a 6-12, I know White Wayne Brady is very sad, but at the end of the day, Agatha, that list was becoming way too powerful. And you know what? I think getting it to 6-12 is more than fair. It's just Agatha, right? Agatha's great, but it's just Agatha. Why was she a 6-14 in the first place? Because they wanted everybody to play with her, and now there's no need to get all crazy. Everybody is playing with her. A 6-12 still isn't a bad stat line. You still get a 12 power blade, ebony blade. I think this is still a good change. How you feel about these two?
Yeah, I think when global launch Agatha came out, it was fine because we didn't have the tools that we now have to do what we can do. We didn't have a Redshift doing this, and next season we had it looks like Zombie Mr. Fantastic, I think, is the one that also discards from the left. So instead of attacking her placement in your hand, she instead is attacked via her power. And it's something that once we see the more discard cards next season come out, if it's still a problem, I then think they work on how she's drawn into your hand. Very similar to what we saw with Thanos originally, where he was your turn 1 draw. I could see that also potentially being something where it's like mixed into the hand. It's not always in the most left-hand position. Like it really depends. But Colleen Wing, I think honestly, Colleen Wing got a buff by this. I think that her going down to a 2-3 is a buff because it sounds bizarre, but when you see the featured deck that I've brought for today's podcast, you'll see why. I think that Colleen Wing in a Cerebro build now is actually a buff. I'm telling you right now.
Oh boy, Cerebro needs a nerf. Okay, all right, we're gonna find out. We're gonna look at that list in a few. All right, let's continue down the path of the OTAs. Then we have Stardust, which we spoke about Stardust. That 4-7 stat line was so powerful. I don't think Stardust needed 7 power to start with, so I'm happy they buffed it down to 6. 4-6 still not bad at all. Stardust is still a great tech card, a very underrated tech card, kind of like Echo in my eyes, because again, I clearly just all over this card when I first saw it and thought about it, and then see all the cool things it could do. So Stardust going to 4-6 won't stop its play rate. I'm happy for this change though, because 7 power was definitely a lot. Then we have Viv Vision, who you mentioned a long time ago needed a buff. She got the buff. She's now 3-3. I still think is not enough. That's just my opinion. I think something else needs to happen with Viv Vision. Maybe make her a 2 cost. Like I said, 2-2, I'd have been happy. 2-1, even better. I just think, or she could be a 3-3 and get +2 power. Something has to change here. Something though. I really feel she needs to do more. I don't know. Viv Vision going to 3-3 is great, but I think it's not enough. And then we have Dormammu, who I think got a wonderful buff in power. Yep, come on, take another shot. Now, from a 710 to 712. So I expect to see a ton more Destroy decks on the ladder, especially with Dormammu in it, because that 712 stat line is amazing. All right, guys, how do you feel about these 3 changes?
Going the other direction with it, starting with Dormammu.
Yep.
It needed it straight up. I mean, the fact that it was weaker than Scar with a harder condition to get out on the board for quote unquote free, it was kind of ridiculous. You know, there were so many better cards to get out 10 power with less worry, right? Sasquatch, right. You just play Mysterio, and then, okay, that's your 3 energy right there that you need to get down to your Sasquatch. Boom, done. Mockingbird, literally, more often than not, it's a 2 cost or lower card. Same thing. Dormammu needed some extra love. Yes, it gets buffed up with extra pieces and power, but even still, the Dormammus I was seeing, they were like 16 power, 17 power. Like, I started playing a Dormammu list right away, and the lowest one I think I got was 18 power, and that felt a lot better to me. That feels like the deck is doing what it wants to organically do. And I was a lot more comfortable with that level of Dormammu integration. The Vision, I called this buff, that this is an underperforming Season Pass card. They were scared of it. It was data mined at 3-3, then released at 3-2 eventually, and they were scared of it. And they even said it later on. They were scared of this card being too powerful at 3-3. And basically, if it's a 3-3 that hits on its first turn, it's Nakia. If it doesn't hit any other turn, it just moves. But it is a astronomically better card at 3-3. It does not need 3-4. It does not need +2. I am telling you confidently, it's a lot easier at 3-3 to win a lane twice throughout the game and organically get the +2 to your entire hand. And I played it in a Surfer list. Felt stupid fantastic. Just to immediately drop that on turn 3, I did a Wiccan hybrid with it, where it was Silver Surfer First Steps, Gwenpool, Wiccan, Quicksilver Domino, and then the appropriate 3 costs. Brood, Sebastian Shaw, Cap. Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Captain
I
Carter.
just, Captain Carter, like, and it worked, and it felt like a really good Surfer deck. So Vivision, don't sleep on Vivision being at 3-3. I think this actually gets a lot more play than it ever has before. Stardust, though, I think Stardust caught a stray here. I think that Stardust caught a stray, and I'll tell you why. It's because of the Robot Takeover. There were no other tech cards except for Mobius and Mobius, Stardust, and Cosmic Ghost Rider. That's it. And a lot of people didn't have Cosmic Ghost Rider, so what was the best deck in the game for the last 2 weeks? Stardust Mobius.
Stardust Mobius. Yes.
Right? And people were playing that.
Echo.
And I think that because people were playing that, the play, and as they say, the play rate went up. Of course it did, because there was no other tech to play.
Tech cards.
There was no 4-cost Enchantress to think about, you know?
You also got to think about, because of no Shang-Chi, everybody's playing Zola Panther. So how do you stop Zola Panther? You play Stardust.
How do you stop Hela? Stardust.
Stardust. Right. Yes.
And that's why it became the tech card of the moment. And I think that this being a 4-6 is going to tank its play rate. Like, I know they want it to have a role in it. I expect its play rate to shoot down, like, below 10%.
Wow.
I really do. I think in the next week, we look at Stardust's statistics. Its win rate cuts in half, and its play rate goes down 10% or lower. I really do. It's still a great card, but 4-7 needed to justify itself in games that you don't have its ability do its thing. 4-6 does not justify it as much. So I think that this one caught a stray.
All right. That's fair. All right. Then we have a few more cards to look at, and that is kicking things off with a Destroyer. Destroyer going from a 6-16 to a 6-18. Now, I don't know why Destroyer needed this buff, because at the end of the day, Destroyer was doing perfectly fine with Nimrods and Kid Omega, etc. But based on these stats, they wanted to give Destroyer some love, which, again, very crazy to see this because I would just play this over Infinite now. But, I'm not going to talk about the Infinite. Nonetheless, Destroyer 618. Hey, I'm always happy about buffs. Congratulations, Destroyer is now another powerful card. Awesome Andy is mediocre Andy still, but hey, 2-2 is better than 2-1. And then, of course, Lockjaw got some love. Happy to see that. Lockjaw going to a 2-3. I still do love the Activate Lockjaw. I know some people want him back the way he was, but, Activate Lockjaw isn't bad. I think we should take this Activate, also put it on Shuri, and make my life even better. But nonetheless, Awesome Andy, 2-2 plus 2. Lockjaw, 2-3, Activate, and, of course, Destroyer 618. Guess your take on these wonderful buffs. Take another shot. There you
go. So 618 for Destroyer. Yes. I think we need to start speaking louder on the buff Infinite train. Really. I really do.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say it. So
no, it's fine. I mean, you're more than allowed to say it because we're really at that place now. I think that with the power creep slowly happening to that 20 power line and how easy it is to get big power onto the board, this is not a big enough downside to say 618 is worthy. I don't think there was any reason. I don't think anybody was asking for this buff. Right. But I mean, I didn't get to test it yet, but we immediately built a Shuri build.
No, it just makes sense. Shuri.
Yeah, it just
with Nimrods and Kid Omega, right? I'm sure.
Oh, no. Not even. Just Shuri Destroyer. The Shuri Destroyer deck, you play Thaddeus. Here's the deck. Ready? Thaddeus, Armor, Magic, and Magic is debatable. Right. Crystal, Electro, Hope Summers, Luna Snow. So you get all of the ramp out there. And you go Shuri into either Red Skull, Giganto, or Destroyer in one lane, and then Taskmaster the other.
Taskmaster the other lane. Wow.
It's a 36 power Taskmaster for playing 2 cards? 3 cards?
Yeah, 3 cards.
Nobody was asking for this. And I think that's all the further reason why we need to, hashtag buff Infinite. I really do. We sold another hat today. We have the mug and the hat, and it's sold.
I'll be rocking mine tomorrow. So there it is. That is the truth. Yeah, listen, because we need to buff Infinite is very true. Wow. Okay. Awesome Andy.
Awesome Andy. Better Andy. I mean, we said it when he released. This was such an underplay, for a overall total power of 2.5. And we still have Toxie at a total of 2.7 with a downside. This is a 2.6 with no downside. And the downside, the only downside is play this before turn 6. And it's a spread out 2.6. You compare it to Mr. Fantastic, who's a 3.7, and this is a 2.6. I think that's still incredibly good.
Right.
I don't think he gets play, but I think it's better. I think he gets play once he hits 2.3.
Okay. Yeah, I believe that too. And Lockjaw?
Yay.
All right. Perfect. And we go on to Mystique, which was a very surprise to me to see that Mystique went from a 3-0 to a 3-1. And this small change is definitely a small nerf to Mr. Negative because I do love the fact that now Jane Foster can't just pull out a wonderful 0-3 Mystique. Now there's going to be a 1-3 Mystique. And also, I think this also helps out Mr. Negative just a bit more as well because that 1 power, helps out when it comes to her copying what's this guy named Gore the God Butcher, or even copying Iron Man a little bit. I mean, it is what it is. You look at it either way you want to, but the main reason is no more Jane Foster pulling out a 0-3 Mystique. So I like this change. I'm happy for this nerf. How about you?
I am too. I am happy for this nerf. I think this helps the turn 6 negative play in a very eloquent way, while also buffing the plays that you want to use her in that are not negative. Like you were saying, if you're playing a Darkhawk deck, this is a buff, right?
Yeah, right.
If you're playing a straight up, a regular Ravonna list, this is a buff.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
this is a buff to every other deck except Mr. Negative. And
Right.
since they have not changed Gore in any capacity, I think that that's totally fine. I think that this is a great start, because Negative should never be a deck that's at the top of the metagame in any way, or even the top 10, because it's a deck that deserves to be at a 45% win rate and really is a true test of your snap ability and your retreat ability if you're the opponent. That's how this deck should typically operate. But it started to get too consistent once we figured out the Esme Cuckoo lines, and then it's like, you know what? We got a problem here. So I think that this is a very eloquent solution to a deck that could become even further problematic, especially in the beginning of the season. So I'm very happy with this.
Everybody plays Negative early. So, yeah, great changes. I'm not mad at all. I think they did a great job with the OTAs. The reverting back of those cards, the changing, reworking of them, and, of course, these new changes. I'm super happy about all these wonderful changes in the OTA. Now, our fun part of the stream where we go ahead and discuss the last card that just came out. And, you know, I got to say, to my own horn here, guys, I was able to go ahead and actually try out the latest card, and that is Warlock. Warlock, which we're going to pull up on the screen for you guys to see, is, I think, okay, you know what? Jocasta's coming out. I might have to relax a little bit, but I still do feel Warlock is the best card thus far this season. And let me tell you and show you all why. All right.
So while you try to figure that out on the computer side of the things, I'll talk Warlock first, because you have some favoritism, going into this, obviously, because Marble Snap was kind enough to give you the opportunity to do the official video for Warlock. And as an activate, getting the unspent energy to reduce costs of cards in your hand. In theory, this is a really fun, really cool card.
Oh, that's too big. Yep, continue.
I think that this is a card, though, that does not truly shine until next week. And I will reserve my final judgment for Warlock until then. Because if you ask me, if Jocasta was not coming out, I'd say with very solid confidence, this is a gold card. Very solid.
Okay.
I think you're working too hard for too little very often with Warlock decks.
Okay.
But once Jocasta comes out next week, and then we start really pushing into that Prodigy, Jocasta, Warlock, Chaos ability combo, then we've got something really cooking. And I think that you maximize Warlock's potential at that point. But for now, he's only a gold card, because you're really leaning heavy, and he's also way too dependent on did you get your Sunspot down or not.
Yeah, I guess in some decks, I agree with that. But I think one of the decks that I think he's great in, where I give him a platinum rating, is the Black Swan Supergiant Warlock decks, where you're playing your ones. You have your Infinite She-Hulk, or your She-Hulk Red Hulk, or your She-Hulk Galactus First Steps, because I ain't put Infinite in that list. And you are going for that play line, right? Your 2 Black Swan, your 3 Warlock, your 4 Supergiant. So you're stopping all the Mobius plays on 5, the MODOK trying to discard their hands on the turn 5, the Jane Foster play on turn 5. And then, of course, when you Black Swan, you turn all your 1s to 0, so you're going to head and turn your, what's her name, your Titania, your Bobs, right, your Hydro Bobs, right, your 1-cost cards that you want to 0. Now, what happens is Warlock will now target all the other cards, because those cards who are 0, he doesn't touch. So that's why I prefer to play that list with him, and I think it's great, because now he's only targeting the She-Hulk and the Red Hulk, the She-Hulk, and the Galactus First Steps, etc. And on the final turn, if you throw Hit Monkey in that deck, if you want to, shout out to Tucker for that, you don't have to use Hit Monkey, but you could drop all your 1s plus the She-Hulk and the Galactus First Step, or the She-Hulk and the Red Hulk. So I think in those decks, he is super fun when you get that play line. The other deck that I enjoy him in is the one in the video, which is the She-Hulk Infinite. So if you don't get Warlock, you still play your She-Hulk Infinite play lines, right? You try to get your either Luna Snow out, or you try to get your Kale to proc on turn 4 and activate her. And of course, you just play the Infinite and the She-Hulk. So those are the 2 decks. I think Warlock is great and why I'm giving it a platinum, but I do understand and see your concern, because I think we were super excited on this card. I think we were very, very hyped up on this card, and it's not living up to the hype because of what we're currently seeing. But as you mentioned before, when Jocasta comes out and we're able to do this twice, if you look at the video, I'm able to activate 4 of these. It's a big difference when you can
that's
2 of them.
That's like best case scenario always.
Right, exactly. But with Jocasta, if you could do this twice, just twice alone, it's going to be a good thing. So I totally get that. Cannot wait to see when Jocasta comes out next week. But I'm giving this card a platinum. I definitely do like Warlock. And again, it doesn't have to be just an Infinite She-Hulks, but I think he is making those lists way more viable now because of his ability. And that's why, even more so than now, Infinite needs a buff.
Yeah, I agree. I think Infinite definitely needs a buff, but Warlock's potential will not truly emerge until we can get successful Prodigy, Warlock, Jocasta, double activate decks.
Yeah. Then we go to next week's card, of course, and that is Jocasta. All right. Now, Jocasta's activate. Immediately activate your other cards here without using up their activate abilities. As we mentioned before, this card is going to be great when it comes to other activate cards, because this is kind of the Wong or the Grandmaster of activate, being able to trigger these activations for those cards without using up their activates, giving you the ability to, as you mentioned before, activate an activate card twice. We're saying activate a lot right now. So, yes. Jocasta, off the preview that we feel about it, we're going to say this is the best card this season, or we're going to give this card, well, let me give it my rating first. I think this card, just like Wong, just like Grandmaster, just like, what's the name, First Steps, I got to give this a double platinum off the top.
In week 2, I'll agree with you.
Week 2.
I think week 2, I definitely agree with you. Unfortunately, whenever there's an affliction deck that comes out, everyone plays Luke Cage for a week. Whenever there's an ongoing card that's too powerful the week it comes out, people play Rogue and Enchantress and Echo. We are now in a world where Ghost exists and is incredibly accessible for a lot of people. And by Friday of next week, people will be so tired of the activate decks again that they'll resort to playing it again. It'll tank its win rate a second time.
But hold on, Ghost stops end of turn, no?
Yeah, because Jocasta is going to be put into Invisible Woman First Steps decks.
But she's activate.
Yeah. It's going to be... It's going into the Invisible Woman First Steps decks, which is already a very successful deck. Then Jocasta is going to be here and want to be played in the same lane as Invisible Woman First Steps. But it won't matter because the other end of turn cards will be turned off because of Ghost. So the deck that's going to...
Invisible Woman is activate?
No.
Okay, listen, no. I'm being real right now with you. Jocasta, she activates other end of turn cards? Or she just activates activate cards?
Sue is an activate.
Yes. That's what I want to know. That's what I was about to say. I thought she was just end of turn. That's what I want to find out. Is she end of turn or is she activate? Okay. That's fine. Perfect. Now I'm on the same page.
Let me re-clarify that. I want
to make sure. Yeah.
Outside of the Warlock synergy and stacking.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay?
I want to make sure the number one activate-focused deck that this card is going to want to be placed into will be Invisible Woman First Steps decks.
I'm with you.
That will tremendously
activate.
Yeah, because all those other cards are going to get their stuff taken down because people will play Ghost next week.
Of
the
course,
statistics of playing this card are then going to be, is it now time to run a 3-cost Surfer Mobius / Ghost deck again? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, no, I get it. I wanted to make sure. I'm like, I thought Sue was end of turn.
No.
So I was like, wait a minute.
No.
Trigger Sue. That's what I was asking.
The two most important cards next week are going to be Mobius and Ghost. That's why I say week 2, this card will be insanely good. I expect Joe Costa to be in one of the top 8 decks in the Golden Gauntlet third qualifier.
I agree.
Because you're going to get all those new cards the following season. 5 new cards drop. Horde comes out. Yada, yada, yada. I think that Joe Costa does not get forgotten about. And I think that it becomes a stronger deck, and I think that it becomes a really good card over time. But this will be one that will take some time. 100%. This is going to take time to figure out the best balance of those activates and where to use them and when to use them. Like, this is... Sorry.
No, I was with you. I was going to say, the fun part is there are now a plethora of activate cards. So to find out which is going to be great with Jocasta, that's going to be super fun, I think, actually.
Think about how easy it is to get a 2/10 on the board now because of Jocasta.
Yes,
awesome,
you're
Andy.
right. Yes, you're right. Also, about to say he's going to buff. That is crazy. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's going to be little synergy pieces that are really good because of this card, and it will become a card you should have in your collection because it's like Absorbing Man. It's like Wong. It's
Odin,
exactly. It's those double ups, and that's incredibly strong. So you can't miss out on that. So I think this is a must-get card.
She re-triggers Sue. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yo, that is bananas, chat. I'm done. That's crazy. All right, yep. So we'll see what happens. Jocasta, she's definitely double platinum because that's just bananas to think about. So Super Adaptoid. That's later. That's
down.
That's still. We still got time. No, we still got time, right? It doesn't come out until the week after. Oh no.
No, next week.
Wait. It does come out next week. Okay, so. We have another card coming out next week, Series 4, and this is Steal the Text from an Enemy Activate card here. Oh my gosh, this also steals?
So at the same week that we have a double-up Activate card coming to the board, which is going to make people want to play more Activates, the immediate counter for that is also coming out, Super Adaptoid. This is another card that if you play Marvel Snap next week specifically, you're going to want to have. If you just skip all of next week, you do not need this card, in my opinion.
Agreed. Okay. All right. So, double gold? Like this card? What is this?
As a 3-cost, 5-power card.
Stealing. This is definitely a double platinum, too. I got to say it.
You are drunk, good sir. No, as a 3-cost anything, this card is going to be silver. As a 2-cost tech card, which is what this should be. This should be a 2/3 without a question of a doubt. At least a 2/3, maybe even a 2/4. Without a question of a doubt, this card needs to be better than it is at a lower cost because it's a very niche
playing
condition.
It on 3, you got to still wait the next turn after. But I think, this is going to be interesting. I still think it's double platinum. I think this is going to be very interesting. The fact that we can now steal the text of an activate card. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean we get to activate, or does this mean on reveal, steal, and then trigger that activate? Because that's what I think this means when I read it. I could be wrong.
Yeah, you get to steal it, and then you get to activate it.
Oh,
the
so
following turn.
Okay, all right. We'll steal the text. I guess the text will say activate. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
This is bananas. All right, so you're right. Wow. This is going to be very interesting next week, guys.
That's why I think it should be a 2-cost. Even further reason.
Yeah, you're right. 2/4. No, 2/3. I think 2/3 is fair. Okay, so, wow, that was a fun thing to talk about. Do we think there's too many cards being released in Snap right now? What do you think about that question before I go on?
I got a whole damn video on that, man. One of the best videos that my channel has ever put out, hands down, is that one talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
say, please take the time to the community, not you. You're busy.
Yes.
To everybody else.
Yeah.
There's a video out there right now talking about, are there too many cards in Marvel Snap? And I will say, because of that video, I've actually ended up having conversations with the appropriate devs. I don't want to name names, but the right people in those positions who talk about that specifically, and we've been talking about the contents of that video, and I'll leave it at that. It's been a really good conversation. Really, really good conversation to have.
No, I believe it. I believe it, because I feel like we're getting to that point. We're getting a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh, Genesis, the new mode is out. I mean, I'm not going to talk about that, but if you guys know Yu-Gi-Oh, if you know, you know. I'm hype about that. Okay, let's talk about card lists. Let's talk about decks, shall we? Okay. All right, I'm going to pull my deck up first, and then we'll go into your deck. Pause all the way for everything I'm saying, everyone, okay?
Yep.
And the deck I'm going to pull up first is one called, can you see it? Mm-hmm. It is called Golem. A new player of Snap walked into my stream today. Guess I don't realize I rated into you earlier.
I did. I complimented you.
Okay. My bad, didn't know. Okay. So Golem came into the stream, new player. His collection level, ladies and gentlemen, is 512. 512. He said this list has been doing great. So we tried it. 15 and 5, everyone. 15 and 5. I am collection level 69,000. He's collection 512. We played this list and went 15 and 5. Now, how do we pull this off with this list? Well, because you have things to buff Danger, especially for Vision, Nakia. Then, of course, you have the White Tiger Odin combo. You have the Jubilee play. You have your Angelas. Given this classic feel that I used to love playing Angela with all types of cards in the beta days, it felt good running this type of list. And, of course, Snow Guard, turning off people's limbos by surprise, being able to drop down big power cards. It has been a very fun deck to play. And I wanted to showcase this just to let you guys know that no matter what rank you are, no matter if you're new or you've been playing Snap for a while, I'm sure you have majority, if not all, these cards. If a 512 collection level player can pick up this list, create it themselves, and enjoy this, I'm talking about complete joy, I think everybody can build a list similar or their own list and have a great time with it as well. But I do implore you all to try this list out. You guys won't be disappointed, I promise you.
Very, very cool list with the Quicksilver and the Domino for some consistency no matter what. When you're in lower collection, it makes total sense. This isn't a Wiccan build. It doesn't need to be.
No.
Because then you've got hand buff options with the Nakia and Vivision, and then the board is progressively buffing as well because you've got Angela, ramping up extra power. You're filling up the lane with Mr. Sinister, and even if you draw Domino on two, if Mr. Sinister's in your hand, you have two options to create extra power to gain that buff with Vivision. I love the Enchantress tech in here, especially keeping it at 5/8. It makes total sense. You're ramping up that Danger to drop it down on 4 or 5. Like there's a lot of cool things that are happening in this deck.
That is correct. So for those who are listening, our listeners, I know we have people that watch visually. Our listeners, the deck consists of Quicksilver, Snow Guard, Mr. Sinister, Angela, Domino, Nakia, Vivision, Jubilee, Danger, White Tiger, Enchantress, and Odin. And as guest mentioned, turn 1, turn 2, you already have 6 power. Dropping down a Vivision in the same lane with one of them or both of them, you're guaranteed to win that lane, giving Vivision the ability to buff your hand, whether it's hitting the Danger, whether it's hitting the Enchantress, which I had a 5/11 Enchantress many times, whether it's hitting the Angela or even the Mr. Sinister. That is exactly what happens here. So, again, try out the list, guys. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Let me know how you guys did with the Golem list.
Very cool. I like it.
We'll leave a link down below in the description to both lists that we're going to mention. Now, let's go ahead and showcase guests list.
With a lot of STs.
Had to do it there. Had to do list. All right.
Do you like fava beans also?
Fava beans, of course.
That's just a straight up stutter, but all right.
Yes, I know. Let's go ahead and look at this discard. Oh my gosh, Cerebro 3. Go ahead, please, by all means.
Oh yeah, no. So the change to Colleen Wing going down to a 2/3 started the conversation about discard Cerebro 3. And for the audio listeners, I'll read off the list first to give you perspective. It's Blade, Ghost Spider, Colleen Wing, Scarlet Witch, Sentinel, Swarm, U.S. Agent, Cerebro, Mystique, Luke Cage, Moon Knight, Valkyrie. Now,
Right.
this list has about a 70% win rate right now for me, and does several things really well. Number one, it allows confidence on turn 3 that I always have something good happening, whether it's dropping dropping Cerebro down, Luke Cage, or the Moon Knight. I feel good about it because Moon Knight wants to be a turn 5 play, but very often ends up being a turn 3 play, and you're still cool about it because it's very easy to throw lots of cards down early because there's 2 1 costs and there's 5 2 costs. So you're just vomiting 3 points regularly,
all over the
super
board.
fast. The Moon Knight interferes with a lot, but you could play Gambit. We went back and forth between it. I'm not a fan of the inconsistency of it hitting my hand negatively with Gambit because that's just my luck. But Moon Knight is able to target the Swarm, especially if it's a 0 cost, and it also could hit it that way too. The Colleen Wing wants to hit the Swarm as a 2 cost because you've been vomiting a bunch of 2 costs down, or it's a 0 cost and it's a guaranteed hit, and then Blade obviously is Blade, where you're trying to get it to hit the Swarm as well. I mean, I was filling the board incredibly regularly. Valkyrie plus Ghost Spider on turn 6 is such a cheeky move, where here's this 3-power card, you play it, you clean out that Cerebro lane that's got a 3-0 in it, turn it into a 3, and then bring that card over to another lane. I mean, it was doing work. I am very, very happy with this list. U.S. Agent's probably flexible. You could tech it to something else if you want. And same thing with Moon Knight. If you want to go down the Gambit side, if you are a little bit, high risk, high reward, sure. But consistency-wise, this was a very good list. I even thought about Redshift for a couple of minutes and then realized you don't know what card it's going to necessarily put back into your hand as a 2, even though most 2s are 2/3s, the majority. It's not consistent. You can't guarantee it. But the Moon Knight, I mean, just Moon Knight does enough of what you need it to do. And this was very, very solid, like really solid. I'm going to highly recommend giving this one a shot because it's pretty approachable for most players too.
We're making Cerebro decks good. We need to stop this now. Cerebro's it's madness.
I agree. It's a problem.
But I do like this build. Not gonna lie to you. It is very impressive. The Swarms, the Valkyrie, the Ghost Spider pull.
And it's easier than you think too. Like you start playing it out and you realize how easy it is to just vomit points down. Yeah. Really, really fun.
It looks it. All right. You guys heard it here first. Please try out the list, both of them. Let us know in the comments down below which one you guys tried out, how you did with it. Did you like it? Did you not? I do like both lists, and I'm definitely going to try out this Cerebro 3 list. Cerebro 3. I can't believe I'm going to say that. All right.
Yeah. You should believe it, damn it.
Yes, definitely. So we go on to our next topic, and that is guest topic. And we're going to talk about the review of the Deadpool Diner. So from my point of view, I didn't have a lot of time to play it, but I did take guest advice. I spent the 700 gold early, got to the Hellburger, and snapped my 3 times and won my matches, and quickly got all the things I needed: danger, variants, etc. I finished off Deadpool Diner with 4K nachos, and with those 4K nachos, I was able to get the remaining 3 emotes I did not have outside of the ones from the last mode we had before this one, the one with Mr. Fantastic. I didn't have that one, but I didn't have Loki, I didn't have Goose, and I did not have Domino, and I got those 3 now. So, and I still have 3K nachos left over for whatever I need for the next 24 hours. I think this mode, outside of it being super generous, was amazingly fun. I like the new mechanics. I like the way that your snaps only count towards you. I like the way that Deadpool changes the locations. That was pretty unique and fun. And I think they nailed Deadpool Diner. I think this is a diamond, if I can say double diamond, definitely double diamond limited time game mode. And I think they, now going forward, I think they just need to make additional changes that Deadpool makes to the locations. I think that's all they probably need going forward. I think everything else I really did enjoy playing. So for me, I'm giving this mode a diamond. Guess, how do you feel about Deadpool Diner?
This was the win that Second Dinner so desperately needed. And the timing of it was incredibly important. You know, we've seen Second Dinner and Marvel Snap go through a lot of shit. Right?
Yeah,
Like, put it politely, they went through a lot of shit in the last 12 months. And they've had a lot of pressure on them from the community, from their player base, to give back what, you know, we have invested into it as our time, our energy, our resources, our sanity. Like, all of it's been investing into the game, and we've been wanting a win, you know, something to run smoothly, something that keeps us happy. And this was the first time in a while, like a while, where I'll say confidently more than the majority of people were happy about this whole game mode, economy of it, generosity of it, engagement. Like, the engagement in this mode, hands down, was the highest for a limited time game mode that they have ever had. Ever. And that needs to speak volumes about what their goals should be. Because people were stupid excited to grind in that game mode for nachos, to get borders, to get emotes, to get variants, to get, like, all the things in the shop that they wanted, and it did not take a chaotic amount of time or resources to do it. It was just be regularly active, know the game mode, and you'll be fine. And, like, even as someone who play tested it early, got to do the video, and was asked by Second Dinner, we talked about this last week, where they were uncertain if they even wanted to promote this new version of it and do a video and an announcement and da-da-da. And after playing it, I said, no, this is a win. This is so good. This, as a gameplay, is worth doing, yet alone the generosity of the entire shop and how active people were in the Marvel Snap community talking about, I got all these borders, I got these emotes I've always wanted, I got, you know, I just kept hearing it, and even in my own Discord, in my own chats, people talking about, I'm just grinding for nachos right now. And that engagement is what brings people back. That engagement, it's not about the dollars that you may have lost. Like, it's about the activity that you gained afterwards, because activity will turn into dollars. It's not correct. It shouldn't be just press the NOS button and then that's your activity for the next 6 months and it all happens at once. This is the win that they 1000% needed. And while heading into October, which these next 3 months for Marvel Snap are critical. Critical. Because we all know what happens in winter. The devs go on holiday, and we need to have some really solid things to look forward to going into 2026, as well as in the time that the devs are on vacation. We need some big wins. And this was a perfectly timed one that gained a lot of interest. I saw some creators that I have not seen in months talking about Snap at all, yet alone talk about it positively, come back to compliment, this was really fucking good. This was amazing. Like, they needed this. That plain and simple. They needed this.
I agree. What a great mode. I enjoyed it, and I cannot wait for Deadpool Diner to return and have some more fun with it.
Yeah.
With that being said, everyone, we're going to go ahead and look at some of these comments that we've gotten over the last episode. And while I go pulling those up,
Shoot.
is there anything that you are happy about, you want to see are you happy coming out next season that was data mined, if you feel like talking about it?
Yeah, I mean, I did my recording today for the October season cards, and I'll post that up on YouTube tomorrow. Well, by the time this podcast goes live, it'll probably be live on my channel as well. But
Right.
I think the Horde mechanic that's coming out next season is very, very interesting. I think it's going to bring a fun new element, a new keyword, a new trigger, new thing to focus on for Marvel Snap. It opens some more flexibility for deck building as well as card creation. I think that there's some really fun things that are going to happen with that. But simultaneously, I think one of the cards I'm most excited for next season is Zombie Galacti, because it is so unique. And
Yes.
when people play that card, which sounds crappy as a 7-cost 4-power card, and then you realize what the potential of that card is as you play it out, there's going to be some cool things. We'll go into more detail next week talking about all the data mine cards, because we like to do the season preview. But Zombie Galacti looks like a card that I'm going to have a lot of fun building decks around, because it's a potentially very high ceiling.
All right. Listen, I seen all those cards, and I'm just like, Yu-Gi-Oh! All over again. All right, we got a lot of stuff that does a lot of things. We're going to see what happens when that happens. But yes, can't wait to see the video. Can't wait for us to talk about it on the next podcast. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the wonderful comments you guys have left. And we have, of course, I think a really good thing that comes out of the OTA, or this OTA, is that people will experiment with newer tech cards. Most players have probably stuck with using tech cards they know, and those are originals from Series 1 and Series 2. It's time for the new tech cards to see some use. I agree with Adrian on that, and that did happen as to why Supergiant got nerfed, okay? And then we have STG was hilarious this episode, asking, when do we play now? That was, see, I'm bugging. We're bugging. That was the one before. Chat, I apologize. I got to behave myself, make sure I'm reading the correct things, okay?
Tech, we have talked about this. You don't drink before the podcast, okay?
This is what happens. This is what happens.
Put the Tito's down.
Yes, Tito's is my favorite, by the way, guys. All right. Then, of course, we have Wish, Guess, and STG. Oh, we're on camera when they were discussing the year difference. Oh, my goodness. That was funny. It was funny because I was really not counting. This is my Tito's moment of last week.
2022, 2023,
yes.
2020.
Yes. Definitely in La La Land. People love the podcast. They love when we have KM on there. They love the episodes. Listen, they said that we should get Prashawn as a guest on here. I mean, I'm down for it, you know. If Prashawn still makes content, we could definitely do that. I mean,
that's shots fired. Exactly. Now we love Prashawn, though, man.
We love Teaser, the goal.
He's really good.
But I'm down for that. And then, of course, somebody left a comment in guest stream basically saying every time I say wonderful, he needs to take a shot. And I think if the counter serves me right, I've said wonderful 27 times. So I think that's the power that Infinite should be buffed to. So 27 power, I think that would be great. And that's basically it. That's all the comments I'm going to dive into tonight, because I think we had a great, wonderful, again, podcast. And I do love the OTA. I know some people don't feel a certain way, but you know what? Agatha needed to lose some power. Okay? Agatha needed to lose some power because that list was running rampant everywhere. And I'm going to say it again. Agatha needed to lose some power. Until next week, everybody, enjoy the OTAs. Enjoy Marvel Snap, and we catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Bye.